All right, so we're talking today, and one of my pillars of health and well-being that I work with all my clients is creating balance in your life. And it's kind of a broad term, so I want to narrow it down a little bit and talk about how it applies to different aspects of your life. Let's take, for example, balanced diet that we've all heard about. 20 years ago, the balanced American diet that was promoted to us, if you're older than 20 years old when you were in school, is actually been almost completely thrown out now in terms of being what's really going to create health and wellness for yourself. Turns out a lot of the recommendations that were made when it comes to the food pyramid, if you remember the food pyramid, was really based on the food industry trying to push certain products to us, and it wasn't really creating what I would call a balanced diet and a balanced state in your body with that too. A lot of the things that are in the food pyramid, actually, if you're eating them, they're creating toxicity and poison within your body. So it's going to be important to create balance in all these different regions, and nutrition is one of those ones. And it's really a moving target, and again, this is where it becomes really important to know yourself and know your goals and know what it is that you're trying to create for yourself with your health and well-being. Okay, the nutritional requirements for a professional, let's just say basketball player, is going to be different than the nutritional requirements for a soccer mom that's coming in that wants to, they have the same goal. They want to have the best health that they possibly can, but they're going to have a different needs in terms of balancing that. So it's going to be really important to become empowered to understand what it is that you need to create for yourself with a balanced nutrition. If you're looking to be superhuman like I am, nutrition actually starts to get used to even create more positive outcomes for yourself. So if you want more energy, there's certain things you can do nutritionally, there's certain things you can do supplementally. If you have problems with energy, there's certain things you can do nutritionally, there's certain things you can do supplementally to create more of that for yourself. So a lot of the supplements that you're going to see in the SuperHumn line aren't really about getting you those fundamental nutrients that we all need, and we'll talk about some of those fundamental nutrients that we all need, but they're really actually about, once you get those fundamental things, here are the things that are going to actually help take you to the next level. So we can create a balance in our life of tipping the scales actually in a positive direction, as to often with nutrition, those things are going to tip us in the wrong direction with that too. Balance is also really important in your life when we talk about your nervous system. I want to take some time to really talk about your nervous system and how critical it is to your health and well-being. Your nervous system is how your brain and your body communicate with each other. And it is your predominant way to self-heal, self-regulate, and adapt to all stresses in your life. Let me tell you something about stress. Living life is stress. We tend to think of stress as bad. Stress is really not bad. Stress is necessary. A stress-free life is you in a coma being intravenously fed. So careful what you wish for. Nobody really wants a stress-free life in that way. Stress builds you, it strengthens you. It's when we do not adapt to stress that stress will make you sick, symptomatic, or hurt in one way or another. Think about this. You could be the healthiest person in the planet. You're as healthy as can be. You fall out of a two-story building, you hit the ground. At that point when you hit the ground, I don't care how healthy you are, it is too much stress for you to adapt to. You're going to become injured at some point when you hit that ground, falling out of a two-story building. Okay, now, depending on how healthy you are, you may be very injured. You may fare much better if you're healthy. But it's too much stress for you to adapt to. So stress is something that we want to be able to manage, so we're in that range where we can adapt to stress. But it is your nervous system that is allowing you to adapt to stress. So it's very important that we have a healthy nervous system, as healthy as possible. there are two big aspects of your nervous system you should think of, and that is your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. This is what we call your autonomic nervous system. It's really how your body self-regulates, but it manages all the internal functions, the unconscious functions that your body is doing all the time without you thinking about it. Your heart's beating right now, right? You're not consciously thinking about, but your unconscious mind via your nervous system is regulating all this. And if you're in a sympathetic state, that fight or flight state that our ancestors would be, if they're walking down and a tiger jumped out of the bush at them, they go into a sympathetic state, right? What happens to your heart rate? It's going to elevate. All these different functions of your body are going to change based on being in a sympathetic state. Okay, if you're in a parasympathetic state, which is more the state that actually our ancestors spent most of their time in, it's more this relaxed state that you need to get yourself into before you go to sleep. Maybe it's how you feel after you had like a great meal. Is that more parasympathetic state? These are states you can hack by doing things like meditation, breathing exercises. But most of us in this world that we live in, because we're wired to actually always be looking for the sympathetic, what's going to come around the corner and get us right now, and things like the news and media and even advertising, they're hacking us because they're tying into what we're going to look at and be aware of, which is all these sympathetic things. Well, one of the things this is creating is that we are sympathetic all the time. It's crazy to think that our ancestors, who actually were in danger all the time of being fed, eaten and be food, and what's going to be around the corner and what's going to maybe grab their kids, we really don't live in that world anymore, but we're actually more stressed than our ancestors ever were. And that's really because advertising, media, marketing, they're all hacking our nervous system all the time, but they're doing it by tapping into this, this ancient biology that we all got programmed with to be always looking out for what's going to be eating us around the corner with that too. So it's very important that you start to master your ability to take yourself out of that sympathetic state more into a parasympathetic state. And you're going to do that by creating balance with your nervous system. So one of the things that I promote and why it's such a pillar to me, balance, is really based on getting that nervous system balanced and getting your sympathetic nervous system under control.